Hey, this is Greg. Welcome to the channel. So last week, the big news was twofold. One is that Biden signed the, quote, infrastructure bill, which we all know is only 30% infrastructure. The rest was payoffs to unions, money to go to fund mass transit, money to go to balance Amtrak's budget, and, of course, corporate welfare for Green New Deal companies, and more money funneled out in the form of subsidies so that Elon Musk can get even richer. But that's just the prelude to the pièce de résistance of wasteful government spending, which is the Build Back Better plan. That's what I have dubbed it. I've used it on a couple other videos on this channel, and that's what I'm calling it, the Build Back Better plan, because it's better for the country, and I'll tell you why. Okay, the other big piece of news that came out last week was inflation for the last 12 months up through October was 6.2%. This is the highest inflation reading in 30 years, okay? This is reminiscent of the Carter years, the 1970s. Anybody who lived through that knows it was a horrible period. And we are in a similar period to that right now, but the most ridiculous, inane, and stupid aspect of it is that it's all created by the government, okay? I've been talking for, months and months and months, probably a year on this channel, about how excessive money printing by the Fed has led to a massive increase in the money supply of $5.4 trillion. And I discussed this on a previous video where I'll put it above here and at the end of this video. Paul Tudor Jones was talking about it extensively. $5.4 trillion the money supply has increased. This is money that the Fed has printed since the beginning of COVID, and 3.5 trillion of that is an increase over what would have happened just naturally, okay? So that $3.5 trillion has gone into people's bank accounts. It's gone to overheat the economy, and it has contributed to this massive increase in inflation. Now, on top of that, and this has never happened before, ladies and gentlemen, on top of that, the government has embarked on the most irresponsible and reckless spending binge the world has ever known, okay? And not only at the beginning of this year, once Biden came in, he passed another $1.2 trillion, right, which just was flushed into the economy, right, causing everything to overheat, causing incredible amounts of shortages of everything and supply chain disruptions. Now he comes in with another $1.2 trillion of infrastructure spending. As I said, only 30% of it is going to actually what we would call infrastructure. The rest is Green New Deal nonsense and EV cars and union payoffs, etc., etc. Now comes the Build Back Better program. Okay, I say Build Back Better because it's just more reckless government spending. And this time it's focused on social engineering, just giving people money for, having children, and free this and free that, free daycare, free, regardless of if you think this stuff is good or not, that's beside the point. The fact that I'm trying to relay to you is that this is just throwing more gasoline on the fire, which I think is a curious analogy because Biden has done everything he possibly can to destroy the U.S. energy market in his war on fossil fuels. but that's the subject of another video. But these two things combined, this reckless money printing and overly accommodative Fed combined with the reckless fiscal policies embodied and engendered with this Build Back Better program will cause inflation to become hyperinflation. Meanwhile, the Fed, which incidentally is the most incompetent Fed in the history of humanity, the Fed is caught now between a rock and a hard place. There is no way out for them, okay, to deal with this hyperinflation other than to dramatically raise interest rates. And what's that going to do? That's going to tank the economy. So as you can see, they're driving up these deficits to massive levels, and at the same time, they've put themselves in a position where the only thing the Fed's going to be able to do is to massively raise interest rates, which will crush the economy. You know, this is government mismanagement at its highest possible level. And rather than slow down or, take an accounting of what they've done so far and maybe question,
gee, is this the right thing to do right now? Is this really responsible?
Rather than look reflectively at that, they are pushing wholeheartedly to get this Build Back Better program through Congress. And I just pray to God, and you better pray to God, or whoever else you bow down to, you better pray to God that this Build Back Better plan does not get passed. They put the brakes on it. It falls apart, dies under its own weight. With all this bad news coming out, and with Biden at like a 38% approval rating, you would think it would lose steam and just die of its own accord. But these people are lunatics. They are reactionaries. They are ideologues. And they will push this through with the last breath that they have before Pelosi goes off into the sunset and retires or gets put in a home or whatever they're going to do with her. Because, believe me, in a year's time, they're going to all get thrown out. Okay? Anyway, I didn't want to get political, but this 6.2% inflation is really dangerous. It's dangerous to the economy. It's a tax on ordinary people. And the government should be pulling back. The Fed should be eliminating its QE. It's still buying $120 billion of securities every month. This is absolutely ridiculous. They should just stop it all immediately. Forget about tapering. Get rid of it. And then pull back on this Build Back Better program so we can get the economy on an even keel. Want to get that inflation rate down to about 2% where it's sustainable and keep the economy going, get the supply chains back working, and have basically a fully functioning economy again. Okay, well, that's the update. And thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And I will be back to you soon with some more content. And for now, 𝐦𝐤𝐤 out.